We're starting with just foot massage. Foot massage, yeah. So, Spring, would you let me know if you want anything different? Thanks. So the difference is I don't say, let me know. I make her tell me that she will. Yeah, she could still not, but it's an agreement. Notice I'm moving the stool around with my foot because my hands are so clean. It's best to put the lotion or oil on a surface. Now you'll notice some directions or some basic techniques there. We're going to teach you over a series of days, a series of techniques. You will integrate them in different order depending on the massage and how long you have for the feet. So in a real session, you're not going to do all of these in order. We're just teaching you kind of building on some things you can do. You might have, for example, one massage where you're only spending 5 minutes with the feet. You may have another massage where it's literally like a 90-minute foot massage. So it could vary widely how you're customizing. I like to apply the product and introduce my touch. And so I'm starting off with some heavy-handed introduction and contouring her feet before I start with the order on the sheet. Do you have questions so far? Anything you saw from the video? All right, so could somebody read the first technique, please?
Side to side, one hand on lateral side of foot, other hand on medial side of foot. When done correctly, foot should flap side to side.
Thanks, Travis. So this is lateral outside of the body. This is medial towards the middle. And you can do this sitting down, but just to talk to you for a second, I was facing this way. Now, most of these techniques, in order to talk about them and for you guys to practice them, they might be longer than you actually do with a client. So this one, I'm squeezing towards the center of the foot and I'm rolling the foot. So all of these little bones are going like this. Like so. And you could do it slower and heavier where you're really feeling that foot open up. You can also go with more of like a flapping motion. You can go up and down the foot as well. So
you're really mobilizing those bones in the feet and just kind of rotating them.
No questions about this one, y'all? This is a nice warm-up technique. And you could see the motion go all the way up. All right, what's next?
Diaphragm relaxation. Hand 1, pull toes, flex over your other hand's thumb. Hand 2, work medial to lateral and work your way back medially.
Thank you. So the diaphragm line on the foot, and that is reflexology, is where the thick skin of the sole meets the thin skin of the foot, and it's shaped like this. So this line right here is where we're going to follow with our thumb. And I like to use a supported thumb so that I'm not using stress on this joint here. If I relax my thumb here, I can use pressure that's really coming from my whole body, not just from my thumb. So I'm going to press in and pull the foot over with my upper hand, press in, pull the foot over, and so on, walking my way to the outside of the foot, walking my way to the inside of the foot. You may feel some spots are kind of harder or more resistant. You can kind of slow down there, adjust your pressure. And how is the pressure? Would you prefer? Yeah, okay, good. Would you, that just about right, or would you like more or less? Right, excellent. Huh? So it's nice to use a pressure scale or to give them some kind of an option. If you just say, how's the pressure? Is it good? They'll probably just say yes. But if you give them an option, like, is that about right? Or do you want more or less? They'll be more inclined to tell you. Yeah, question back there. No?
And you'll notice here where I see this movement go a little sideways when people are practicing is that you put your thumb in there, you press in, and then you pull over the top to get like more pressure into that diaphragm line instead of folding over and then pushing. You want to push first and then kind of fold over. So you're kind of like almost like pulling into it a little bit, like pulling the foot toward you a little and pushing it at the same time.
We're trying to break fascia there. Is that the purpose?
Yeah, and warm up range of motion, yeah. So a lot of places in the body, it takes warm up. So the first time you go is lighter. And then when you repeat, you can go deeper. And as I repeat, I notice that she's tighter here. So I can really, now that she's warmed up, I can really linger in the places that are tighter. And usually that feels kind of yummy for people. Do you enjoy that?
Yes.
And then don't be shy about pulling the top of the foot down. People like that movement. So this top part, if I was to just show you one-handed, you really can fold this foot. Don't be shy about it. It's not just the toes, but that feels good too. It's the whole top. Yeah, questions? All right, what's next? Could someone read the next one, please?
The weight. Hand one, fist on bottom of foot, plantar surface. Hands two, all fingers together on top.
Thank you. Now this one messes people up. I don't know why. It's like this, and we can come over and help you. If your hands are like this together, it's like a Tai Chi movement where they both go together. And if you're standing up, you're really moving with your whole body. You can do it sitting down. So hands together, hands together. So same thing on the feet, one on the bottom, one on the top, together, together, together. And this motion can go all the way up their body into their hips. And the cool thing about a foot massage, when you really get the movement going all the way up into the hips and really pressing in, is it really is like a full body massage. So you can see all this wonderful movement on her legs. I can feel she's tight in here. So I'm pressing into that. I'm not being shy about it.
And you can see this movement all the way up to her head, right? You can see the way her head is just kind of moving forward and back. And you'll also notice that as Zephyr is doing this movement is coming from Zephyr's feet and hips.
And if I was to stand, it would look more like this. A lot of people sit for foot massage. It's this, the head and the feet are the most common areas where people sit, but you can stand the whole time.
But just because you're sitting doesn't mean that it's not a full body where you're using your core, you're using your hips, you're hinging at the hips and pushing forward with your whole body so that it's not just your arms. That's a fast way to really wear yourself out.
All right, questions about that one? All right, could someone read the next one, please?
The ankle loosening, base of the thumb joints in front of the ankle bone and rock.
Thank you. So you're going to use the base of your hands at the base of your thumbs, and you're going to lock in right to the front of the ankles, right about here. And you're going to go up and down with your hands like this.
There was a glitch. Come again in a few seconds.
But you're not going to slide over them. So you're locking into their feet and going like this. You go faster or slower, it's okay. So I like to start right on top like that, and then hands out, rolling the hands in while keeping the same motion going.
So like Zephyr said, we're locking in. We're not just like vigorously exfoliating their ankles. We're locking in and using the base of our thumbs to flop the foot back and forth.
Here's the really yummy part. When I talk about rolling out, I'm still pressing in. And so I can lock into this ankle and even offer some traction. So traction is pulling her this way. So I got a nice pull on this ankle. And again, it becomes a full body massage. See how her whole body is moving with this? That's what you want. It's not just the ankle movement. What can be really awkward is if you just stay here the whole time, they're really bony right there. So you're not like just, crunching on the bones. We're wanting to open up the foot and see how floppy she gets when I do that.
A lot of people's ankles are really stiff and they don't have great range of motion because we're not doing much other than usually walking around in supportive shoes, right? So people's ankles can get really stiff and tight. And this is a great way to just like shake out the ankles. It feels so awesome.
You like that one, Spank? Right. 2 thumbs up. What's next? Or do you have questions? All right, what's next?
Ankle range of motion. Hand 1 under heel, left hand under right heel, traction at calcaneus. Hand 2, rotate foot.
Thank you. So I just kind of warm it up while we're going here. So I'm offering traction. So I'm pulling. We get jammed up and it feels really nice to open up. So whenever you can pull them open is lovely. So it doesn't matter which hand is on top and which hand is on the bottom. Oftentimes you'll want to change whether you're the right or left foot. But we're going to take the foot in a circle, and this hand can be supportive. And you're offering so much pressure, like I'm pushing all the way into her hip. A lot of pressure, don't be shy. All around, pulling at the bottom, around. And you can go both directions. You can go faster, slower. Where it's tight, you can push in there a little bit more. Now, people like the weight taken off of their legs, so like you don't want to make them feel like they're going to drop, but like you are literally using so much pressure, you could be lifting them up.
And this is to open up the ankle, but also to get a stretch for the calf, for the front of the calf, sides of the calf, and the back of the calf. If you're doing the motion and you're not like really committing to it, they're not going to feel that stretch there. And that's the part about this that feels super, super good, is when you really like point their toe or push their foot back, and then they get that stretch in their calf or in their lower leg.
As you repeat it, you will feel where they're tighter, and then it gets really yummy if you just hang out there. And for most people, they want you to stretch their foot farther than you think. So the first point of resistance doesn't feel so great to them. But then if you push further, you like that much pressure? Yeah. So don't be shy on this one. Also, a lot of people, they're going to click and pop and crackle. And that's okay. People's ankles snap, crackle, and pop. Unless they have like a recent injury, it's okay if they snap, crackle, and pop.
And if they have pain, like actual pain that isn't just like, ooh, that's stretching and that feels so good. If they're having actual pain, just go ahead. You don't have to do it quite that far. You can back off a little bit.
Mariana.
So like back to the pain part, is that where the like paying attention to the body language where they tense up somewhere else and hold their breath? Is that where that comes in to watch for? Okay.
Yeah, so we check in verbally, but also watch them. They shouldn't be like curling their other toes or holding their breath or clenching their hands.
Okay.
You can use your whole body too. Like if you want more pressure, like I can use my whole arm, really get into it. People like to do stretch.
And if you feel like they're getting like resistance or they're like kind of pulling away, check in with them, because it might be that you tickled them. It might be that, that your pressure is a little bit too much. Never hurts to check in.
Okay. Other questions?
Yeah, in one of the videos you mentioned, like we want to be sure with the rotation that the whole leg is rotating. If I got that right. How some points, or what are some tips?
So like if you're pushing them really far, you'll want to push them so that, see how I'm moving her leg and her hip. What I don't want, especially older people, but not just older people, have problems with their knees. I don't want to create too much torsion here for me. So if I'm going really far, I take her all the way to the hip. Can you see visually moving? And that feels yummy. And when she gets up, she's going to feel like she had a full body massage because we're literally opening up her hips. Because you guys are so helpful. Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
all doing this with them.
Thank you for all the help. All right. Could someone read the next one, please?
Sandwich range of motion. Sandwich top, dorsal, and bottom center of feet between them.
Awesome. So this one is really yummy. You can stand, you can kneel. You might want to move to the side of the table. Your hands can be stronger when they're locked together like this. And you're squishing in a circular motion like this to really open up all of this yummy. There's muscles. Not really, camera's not on there, but you get the tendons on the top of the foot. Thank you.
I am not a videographer.
So see all these tendons, they're very visible on your clients. In between all of them, between the toes, there are muscles in all of these spaces. So when we go like this, we're really warming up and moving all of those muscles. This is a really nice one. Thanks, Elizabeth.
And you want to make sure that your hands are going in kind of opposite directions to one another so that you're kind of doing this motion. If you're doing this, you're just going to grab onto their skin and be pulling their skin. If you're doing this and pressing deeply, you're going to be moving through all of those bones and stuff.
Questions on that one? All right, what's next?
Rib cage relaxation. All fingers creep along top dorsal foot and lateral to medial while other medial to lateral.
Thank you. So this is just those spaces that Elizabeth was just focusing in on the camera. We're gonna use our fingers in a motion like this to go into those spaces. Now we can go up the foot like this, or we can walk in and out like this. So we're gonna squeeze.
I'm sorry, so move up the foot, like how?
So I will show going up a space. So here is a space between the toes, between the bones in the muscle. I can squeeze like so and walk my fingers up. Now this is called the dorsal side of the foot. It's more sensitive than the plantar side of the foot. So we're not going to use as much pressure. We can walk up like so. Exactly how I hold my hands can vary. Size of the client's foot, size of my hands, how specific I'm being. So right now I'm supporting her foot with my other hand. But I could also walk with all my fingers at the same time. Like so. And one thing I'm doing is never go into autopilot for massage. Like you're not thinking about like doing laundry or like your errands you're gonna run later. You're always focusing on what you can feel and what you notice of the client's response. And the longer you do this, the more aware you'll be of what you're sensing. So as I'm going through here, I feel that there are some tight spots here. So these are places that I could come back to and spend longer on. And I could even push my way through the tissue like that. So on that one, I'm squeezing and pushing up. Squeezing and pushing. Like
that. Is that point, because I just noticed with reflexology that when you cannot touch there, if you touch there, it relates all the way to the upper back. Is like, you know how like when you feel here little like extra little like, yeah, exactly, like extra tissue there. Is that the same? Like, does that build the same in between that?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
that's
Just
basically
like that.
Huh.
All right. Any other questions on that one? All right, what's next?
I think that's it.
That's it.
That's the last one. Okay, so the next couple days, we will show you more, but I want to show you just a few things that you kind of connect them, introduce with, and end with. You can always do some pulling, squeezing, rocking techniques. And everybody loves sliding, squeezing motions with their foot. So if you need a little something extra, kind of just between those techniques, you can just add a little bit of squeezing for now. And then today you will have time to work with both feet. And I'm sorry, that was just one thing. So any other questions? All right, fantastic. So
Wait, one last question.
course.
Do we not work in this back part of the heel, you know, like this little, like, the, yeah, that
Here?
one?
People actually
that-
love this. Yeah, we're just not doing all the techniques today.
Okay, but
Yeah.
that includes in you.
Yeah,